So I believe that our kids who are sick don't do things because of the reasons that they say that they're doing things. They don't get tattoos because they're bored. They don't smoke weed because it's available. They're broken. They're broken legs, so to speak. And it's like somebody with broken legs, you're going to say, you know why he's not walking? Because we give him a wheelchair. Why would he ever get up and want to walk? Would you ever think that a regular person who was regular his whole life and then had a breakdown, his legs are broken, would you say, don't make it easy for him? Don't make it easy. If you're going to make it easy, he's going to stay in the wheelchair. Okay. Yes, there's certain times that the professional who knows when to pull and that's not, parents can't possibly know how to do that. And most of the time you'll end up doing much more damage than helping the child. The point is, what do we think is going on in the brain of the child? He will sin as much as possible. He will smoke weed as much as possible. We had the question today. Our daughter is smoking weed, so now they were able to get her medicinal weed. Right, you're on the call here. They were able to get her medicinal weed. Now she's still going out taking other money and buying. Should we get more medicinal weed, or what do we do? And it comes from thinking that if you give her more, she's going to do more and more and more and more. And I showed them the biggest raya. For less money, she can go out and she can get much more powerful drugs than weed. You're not protecting your kids by not giving them money. She goes out and she gets that weed. She can get anything from Uber weeds. They have the whole menu. Cocaine, heroin is cheaper. So you're not protecting your kid by not giving them. What could you do then to protect them is when they feel, I have a mother and I have a father who really understand me and believe in me, and they're with me in my dysfunction. Ani Hashem HaShoichin itam b'soich tumasam. Isn't that what God does? I am Hashem. I am with you. He tells you up front, I'm going to be with you b'soich tumasam. Don't tell them that, because then why should they ever be good? Hashem is making such a critical mistake. Don't say I'm going to be with you no matter what you do, because what incentive is there to be good? No, every Jew wants to be good. You got to know where the starting point is. Every person wants to be successful. If you believe in that, then telling them I'm always going to be with you is not it doesn't hurt them. It's not an impediment at all to them wanting to be successful. Depends if you believe that we're dealing with diamonds who are broken, who are lost and confused and broken and hurt, or we're dealing with something which is be'etzem ra. So if the kid is be'etzem ra, then don't give them more money. He's going to buy more weed. The more you give him, the more you're going to take. The more you give him. My experience with hundreds of our kids, the more you give them, the faster they calm down. So now, if he needs this, so he's not going to tell you, and very often they don't even know, but you know that he was a yeshiva bacher over here, and now he's doing this. Something happened. Whether he tells you, I'm doing this because I'm lazy, I'm doing this because I'm bored, I'm interested, I'm curious, I'm wondering, doesn't matter why the words that they use to describe. We know that he's a chayla sheyesh by sakana, or he's a chayla, or he's off. We know that a lot of things happened from normal. And you want to go from here back to normal. So what's going to do that? What's going to get you from him to be here back to normal? So you're asking me. In my experience, and you know, it's like, how many times do we need to see it and have testimony on this? The more you supply, the faster they go back to this. The more you supply. Because when you supply the child, they don't feel, oh, great, now I could do the worst and be the worst. They feel supplied. They feel cared for. I have a mommy, I have a daddy, they care for me. And when does that come out? Oh, in ways you may never even know, or in ways like we just heard, where this boy was really essentially abducted. And we've had girls which were abducted. And they called mommy and daddy, pick me up, get me out of here. I'm done with this. After a month or two of us being patient. Why? Because we have a job to do. And you're paying for half or whole or this or not. And I don't approve, I do approve. None of that is going to get him from here to here. That is bankrupt. Show your child, I love you, but I don't approve of what you're doing. Bankrupt. Every parent who came to me tried that. So if someone is starting their journey and they want to give it a whirl, I'm not against that. Try whatever you want. Try tough love, try love tough, try tough. I don't really care what you do, but you're here by me now. So you're asking me my advice about what I think you should do, what works and what doesn't work. I don't approve of this. I'm not going to fully support this. Does the opposite of what heals these kids, and that they feel whole inside, that my parents somehow fully support me, even though I'm not behaving in the way that they brought me up. And that peace, that zen, that's what you're hearing from your family and from other families. Our home is peaceful. We accepted the fact that we're not going to get them to behave like us with pressure or force or these. We gave up on all of that. We tried our best. We did the eyes. We tried the eyes. We tried everything. Everything. We tried, if you don't, I'm not going to give you money. Well, I get calls all the time from new people. Nebuch, if you don't listen, we're going to take away your phone. What a great idea. OMG. Does that work? How many people have to do that? And that is the worst thing you could possibly do. You'll wake up in 2 months from now and say our whole relationship and our kid went to hell the day that we started punitive and punishing and taking stuff away. And in my house, you can't, and you won't, and I can't. So what heals this confusion is I don't understand you because I didn't have your life. I know you've been through a lot of pain and I endorse you. And if you're going to go do that, I'm going with you. Why wouldn't you do that? Because it's a sin? So first of all, I'm not so sure. I'm not in heaven. According to Reb Gershon Edelstein, very clear that they're anusim and it's not a sin. But even if it's a sin, we have so much data that doing this equals less sin. So supporting the sin in order to have less sin is a mitzvah. And don't take my word for it, ask your Rav. Let your Rav decide. How much can I do? What can I do? Of course, everything is under Das Torah, but let's understand the chap of TP that nobody else thought of. The furthest the world got was, I'm not going to throw you out of the house, or I'm not going to be punitive, but I'm not going to approve of bad behavior. But hello, we're approving of bad behavior because we believe in our kids, because they are good. And if a good kid is doing something so bad, there's a reason. There's a reason. And by approving of you and supplying you, I'm validating you as a human being that you have a reason why you're doing this. I don't need to know the reason. I trust you. Trust you. And the more you do that, the faster you'll find out the reason, because they'll be comfortable to share with you their pain. So everybody else is still saying, don't supply, don't enable. Look at those kids who they're not enabling, the most enabled population in the world. They have the iPhone 600, a month before all the billionaires have it. They have it. They have every drug in the world. They're totally enabled. So enabling the children disables them because there's no fight, there's no friction, there's no push and pull, no lahachis, there's no doing something just to get angry. My parents love me, my parents accept me. My parents support me. A couple of years goes by and then they say, okay, who am I? And why am I dysfunctional? And why do I, do this and this bad behavior that I regret doing when I'm bored? Now, if you can get him to do that now and to wake up and say, hey, the reason I'm doing this is because I'm bored, or the reason I'm doing this is because I'm sick and I shouldn't do it, I'll regret it. If you can do that, not only should you do that, but I'm turning the camera around and you take over TP, because I cannot find a way to get parents, to get the kids to say any of that. But if you have that power to get your kid to say what I want him to say in 2 or 3 years from now, and you can get him to say it now, yeah, I really regret it. That was I'm not going to do that. That's stupid. I'm going to start being productive and do good things in my life that I know that I'm not going to regret. And I'm going to wake up in the morning and I'm going to get a job. I'm going to save up. I'm going to function. If you know how to do that, heck, I'm out. I retire. I give you the crisis center. And I'll even continue paying the bills. I haven't found a way to do it. So my way, I hate it as much as you do. But I bake into you trust. I bake it into you. You obviously need this. And if you obviously need this, I'm going to supply it to you. And this is what the Talmud Devar teaches us that Hashem does to us. We take everything from Hashem and he supplies us with energy and money. We sin, we do bad stuff. It's not about, okay, if you do this, I'm pulling out the plug. How will those families pull? They pull out the Wi-Fi, L'Kavod Shabbos. So then that's going to make the kid love Shabbos. That's Arab mentality. Kill the infidel. We don't do that. We make you love Shabbos. Takes a little longer. Requires a little bit more patience and a little bit more wisdom. But that's my malach. I hope I answered your question.